What's going on, guys? It's Asal and welcome to my 2015 gaming setup. Now this is where I do all of my gaming, recording, and my editing. Now it has been about a year and a half since my last gaming setup video, and a lot is the same, but a lot has changed as well. And I want to actually show you more of my setup this time. Last time we had a lot of footage of me just talking, but we're going to be focusing on a lot of footage of the actual setup this time around. And if any of my gear does tickle your fancy in any way, I will be putting links in the description to all of it. Moving back to the actual setup itself, I am actually quite happy with it, especially when it's all nice and tidy just like this. And before we get too carried away, yes, we do have an assortment of Star Wars Lego sitting on my desk, because hype. I mean, it's Lego, it's Star Wars, so what's not to love? Getting back on track here, let's talk about the PC itself. I currently have it tucked in behind my monitors as I was collecting a lot of dust where it used to be on the floor, and I have moved it out a little bit so I can better show you guys what is inside. Now the case is a mid-sized case. It is a Zalman Z9 Plus, nothing too fancy, but it does get the job done, especially with those nice blue LED fans, because what is a gaming PC without a little bit of LEDs on there, right? Now, underneath the hood, we have an i7-3770 CPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM, an Asus GTX 770 video card, which I do plan to upgrade whenever the next line of NVIDIA cards come out, probably in around a year or so. I also have two 1 terabyte hard drives in there. One is for storage and the other one is for recording onto. I also have a 120 gigabyte SSD for my operating system as well as my software, though not a lot of games on there because games are getting pretty big these days, and 120 gigabytes really is not a lot of space. For my power supply, I have a 750 watt modular power supply, which is nice because I don't need to have all of those wires in there, and I also have a sound card in there just for kicks. I built the system myself and it's been a lot of fun. It's gone under a lot of changes. When I first bought this PC, it was, I think only one component is the same, and that is one of the hard drives. Everything else has been completely redone and remodeled, just, you know, out with the old, in with the new. And I love keeping everything pretty with the wiring and just overall creating a very aesthetically appealing case. And if you have never built a PC before, I do recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and of course it is actually cheaper than buying a pre-made PC. Now, it's not the highest end PC out there, but she gets the job done, and I usually don't have to tone down my graphical settings too much to get consistent performance. As you can see, I have a dual monitor setup. Now, some may think this is unnecessary, but I'll tell you, once you try it, you certainly won't be going back anytime soon because the extra screen is absolutely amazing. Now, my primary monitor is a 27-inch BenQ 60Hz 1080p monitor, and my second, smaller monitor comes in at 23 inches, and that's an LG monitor, again, 60Hz 1080p. Now the BenQ is definitely the nicer monitor between the two. It's brighter, it has better colors, and of course it's bigger because bigger is always better. Now I do all of my gaming on the 27-inch monitor, and then my second monitor is usually more reserved for social media, music, and recording and editing software. Basically whatever I'm doing on the side that doesn't demand my immediate attention. Oftentimes it is just a web browser of some kind or another. Now it would be nice to one day upgrade to a 2560 by 1440 display one day, or maybe even a high refresh rate monitor, but right now I'm pretty satisfied with what I have, and new monitors are pretty expensive unless I'd be buying something that I already have. Now for the peripherals, specifically the mouse and the keyboard, like most people, I do use the mouse and the keyboard. I don't use anything obscure or weird like a trackpad or anything like that. Now my keyboard is a DAS mechanical keyboard, and that has not changed since my last setup video, and I really enjoy it, and I do plan on keeping it as long as possible. Now it features Cherry MX Blue switches in the keys, also known as clicky keys, so essentially, as the name implies, they make a clicking sound when they are activated, giving a nice tactile feedback, which is really great for typing quickly. Now, a lot of people find these annoying because they're loud, but I'll tell you, once you use them, you will not be going back. These things are absolutely a dream to type on. Now, I don't have a fancy backlight or anything on these, but those are kind of gimmicky anyways, in my opinion. Sometimes they frizzle out and they just stop working, but anyways, what kind of real typist looks at their keys while they're typing anyways, right? Right. Moving on to my mouse, I use a Rocat Cone Pure. Now this mouse has changed since my last setup video. I was using previously the Razer Death Adder, but I wasn't completely satisfied with that mouse. I realized that I usually only grip my mouse with my fingertips when I'm actually in the fray of things and playing a first-person shooter or some other game like that. And the Death Adder is definitely a palm grip mouse, so it was a little big and cumbersome for me to use, and I found that it was just holding me back, especially since I've been playing on a lot of lower sensitivities lately and having to lift my mouse a little bit more. Now, I've heard great things about the Roccat Cohen-Pier, so I decided to give it a try, and I'll tell you, I absolutely do love it. It's small, it's light, it has a great grip, and it doesn't get super greasy like my Death Adder did for some odd reason. I thought it was just because I was a greasy person, but my new mouse doesn't get greasy at all. So as far as mouse accuracy goes, I think this mouse has actually helped me quite a lot, and I do recommend it to anyone who has more of that fingertip grip with your mouse. Moving right along, let's talk about my audio equipment. Now for my desktop speakers, I have the Bose Companion 2 speakers. Now these are great, they offer high quality audio that you would only expect from Bose. Now I don't have a subwoofer or anything with these, so they don't pound too hard, but nonetheless they do fit my needs quite well. Now I've made some pretty serious upgrades in regards to the headsets that I use. Now the one that I use for most things on my PC are my Audio-Technica ATH M50X Studio Monitor headphones. Now that's a bit of a mouthful right there, but I absolutely adore these headphones. Audio-Technica makes some really nice gear. They're really nice high quality headphones, especially considering the price point. There's some pretty great value to be found in these headphones, and they are pretty popular on the internet as well. Now my second headset, these are the Bose headphones, and they're more for special occasions. I find the sound quality is superb, but the noise cancellation is almost eerie. It's like too good. You only want to use these when you absolutely don't want to hear anything around you. So I usually only use these if I'm out somewhere studying or on a plane or something where I want the noise cancellation to be absolutely complete. But either way, both of these are very great headsets. I recommend both of them, though if you want something for your PC and you want to be spending money on just one headset, I would recommend the Audio-Technicas over the Bose, mostly just because of the price, and again, they don't have that somewhat eerie noise cancellation. Now let's talk about my microphone. This is the same microphone that I've been spitting into for 2 years now. It is the Audio-Technica AT2020, which again is a very popular mic on the internet and YouTube in general, and I still love this mic. It has yet to do me wrong. Now, in addition to the gooseneck nylon pop filter that I've been using, I purchased a low profile pop filter to take up less room, and it's been great for being on Skype. It's nice and small, but I do find the nylon filter does a better job of just stopping plosives, or pops as they're called in general. Now for my mic arm, I have a Rode PSA-1. Now it is a little expensive, but it's very high quality, I will say that, and it's really great for placing the mic just where I want it. I've had it for about the same amount of time as I've had the microphone, and it also has yet to do me wrong, and it's really nice because once I'm finished recording, I can just lift up my mic, push it back, and just tuck it in right behind my monitor for next time that I need it. Saying hello to my webcam, this is my Logitech C920. Now I don't do a whole ton of vlogs or live streams, but for the rare occasion that I do, this webcam has served me quite well. It can't do a full 60 frames per second, but it can indeed record in a full 1080p, which really is good enough for my purposes, and I don't really find myself using a whole lot of actual video of me. It's more focused on the gameplay, so I don't really need the full 60 frames as of quite yet. Now, it might seem like I'm a bit of a PC master race kind of guy, but I definitely do love my Xbox One, especially when it comes to playing some good old Halo. I've played about 6,000 or 7,000 games of Halo in my day, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, so my Xbox is definitely a close companion to me. Now, I have my Xbox hooked up to my primary monitor via HDMI, so I can just switch the input, and I can either play on my PC or my Xbox, depending on which one I want to play on. I don't need to change wires around or anything like that. Now, I have the Xbox audio output going into the line-in port on my sound card, so I can actually play the sound from my Xbox out of my PC. The advantage of this is that through this program called Voice Meter, I can adjust my PC and Xbox sound puts separate from each other, so I don't have conflicting audio things, and I can just manually tone down one if it's drowning out the other. So that's a nice little addition. And again, I do love the Xbox, but most of my gaming is on the PC, as you might have guessed. Last but not least, this is my chair, because what's a gaming setup without a chair? It's just basically a leather chair from Staples. So yeah, that's my chair. And that pretty much wraps up the gaming setup of 2015. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. I always appreciate that, especially for videos like this that take a little bit longer to put together. And if you have any questions about my setup or any of the gear, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Now, everyone, this has been Asal, and I will see you guys next time.